who is who. The first verb is as anointed you. This is a third person masculine singular verb. To anoint. He has anointed you. So the subject of the verb must be a third person singular masculine noun, which immediately follows the verb. That
Stop,
is,
stop right there. Stop right there. Stop right there.
uh,
So I just want to explain. Do you understand what's being said here?
yes, it says it must follow the verb, the third masculine noun.
Okay,
Third
so
person singular masculine noun must be immediately after the verb.
immediately, but right. So you said that the first Elohim there was the king, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So that means that the king anointed you. Who is the you then?
No. The king is being
Mm-hmm.
addressed to, and then thy God is the one who does the anointing. When it says
Let's
thy
get
God, no. When it says thy God, the verb precedes after
but
thy God. It does not.
before don't you move it too fast. Let's just stick with the verb. He anointed you, which is Meshahaha, and then Elohim. We just want to deal with these two words right here. So you saying that the word Elohim, not Elohecha, you're saying Elohecha is the Father, right?
Which one says? Let me see. Therefore, God, yeah, Elohika is the Father. Elohim,
All
yeah, is
right.
the Father.
So don't gaslight me. I understand exactly what I'm talking about. All right.
And the
so
and the verb of
okay.
anointment follows what?
So
Elohaka, right?
eh, no,
What? It
the
says
word
as anointed
the
you follows Elohika. It doesn't
no
follow the Elohim.
brother. Go on your screen. Pull the verse up in the Hebrew text. Pull the there. If I go right there, it's right there.
Yeah,
Read that right there.
exactly.
So slow down.
Good.
So no, look at the Hebrew text right there in the front. It says Alkin Mesha Aha. He anointed you Elohim. So the word followed by anoint is Elohim, not Elohecha.
Okay.
Okay.
Let me
So
see. Melashaka.
right, you
Yeah.
just saw
Okay.
it. Yeah, you just saw it. So again,
No,
I
no,
know what I'm
no.
talking about, bro. Trust
I
me,
was
I
reading
know what
the
I'm talking about. I'm not gonna
no.
speak.
I was reading the English when it says as
Yeah,
anointed you is after the second God.
I got you. This is
You were
part of the
talking about the
problem.
Hebrew. Okay, it's a
Yeah, of
misunderstanding. Okay,
course,
let's go.
because that's what this is all based upon. This is exactly what I'm trying to point out. Exactly.
Okay,
So,
let's see the
and listen,
explanation.
we have verb, subject, object, right? As the syntax. So, after, like as the ChatGPT said, after the verb, you must have the third person masculine singular subject who did the anointing, right?
Okay,
So the third person masculine singular who did the anointing is the word Elohim. So it can't be the king. The king can't anoint himself because the kaf is in relation to the king. When it says he anointed you, the you there is in relation to the king. So the king can't anoint himself. So Elohim can't be in relation to the king at all.
okay. Let's see what
Done.
it says. Right? Let's see what it says.
You don't
Okay, so it
understand.
says this. No, let's see what it says. That's
I
your
got you, but go
explanation.
ahead.
But let's see
What's
what
the
it says. Right?
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Because the conclusion already, the conclusion already is two Elohims. That's the conclusion of ChatGPT. But let's see what it says then. So it says this is a third person masculine singular verb. To anoint, he has anointed you. So the subject of the verb must be a third person singular masculine noun, which immediately follows the verb, right? That subject is Elohim. So the grammar is verb, he has anointed you.
So who's
Subject,
doing the anointing?
God. Bro, let's just read the stuff. Let's do the
Okay.
read and see what it says. So it says he has anointed you. Subject, God. Object, you. This means the first Elohim is the one doing the anointing. A king does not anoint himself. Therefore, the first Elohim cannot be the king. The second Elohim in the construct with a suffix, your God, this is a, or your God, this is a possessive. Elhaika, your God. This phrase always refers to Yahweh in the Hebrew Bible. It cannot refer to the king. So the structure is Elohim, subject, your God, a positive. God, your God, has anointed you. This is Yahweh. Therefore, the fourth Elohim cannot be the king because the verb is third person. He has anointed you. The king is the object. Mm-hmm.
You said in verse 7. We ain't talk, we not we wasn't even talking about the previous verse. We moved on from that. You said in the
Mm-hmm.
verse that we were reading, when it says God, your God, that was two subjects in that verse. That's what you said. You said that
Yes,
the
two
first one,
subjects.
you said right, and that's in that one verse. You're not talking about the previous verse. Like how you choose ChatGPT said exactly what I said about verse 7. It didn't say what you said. You said in verse 7, it was two subjects there. You had Elohim, which was the king, and then Elohecha, which was the father. That's what you said. I'm trying, nah. And I
And
made sure,
what
and I
did
made sure I
ChatGPT
made
say,
it,
brother?
and it
What did
just
ChatGPT
pull it
say?
back up. Pull it back up and talk about
It
that.
says the
Pull it
first
back up. No,
Elohim
show
is a
your screen.
subject, right?
It said in verse 6, where that's what it's talking. We're
Verse
talking
7 it
about.
says
Pull it up. Pull it back up.
in
Pull it
verse
back
in
up.
Psalms
Pull
40,
your screen back
45
up.
7,
You
the
still got the big
first
screen. You still got the big
okay.
screen. Pull it back up. Pull
It
it back up.
says in
Pull it back
Psalms
up. We need
45
to see the
7,
screen.
the
We
first
need to see your
Elohim,
screen.
the first can you see the screen?
Robert. No, we can't see
Oh,
your screen.
let me just go back here. Can you
And
see it? No?
we're talking about verse 7, right? When the Elohim
Okay.
and Elohim are being used, correct? Correct?
Exactly. Yes.
Okay,
So
go.
Elohim and good. So it says in Psalm 45 7, the first Elohim is the subject of the verb. So as anointed, and the second Elohim, your God, identifies the subject as Yahweh.
Stop right there. Let's understand what the hell that just said. The first Elohim is the subject.
Mm-hmm.
And the last clause it says identifies that subject as who?
The subject as Yahweh, your God. Yeah, in
Because
Psalms
you're
45 7. No, let me show you.
because
In
hold on.
Psalms 45
You're
7, the first Elohim is the subject of the verb as anointed. And the second Elohim, your God, identifies that subject as Yahweh.
stop. This is what I'm trying to explain to you. The verb, which is third person masculine singular, as your chat GBT just said, is Elohim. The subject that's been listen, so you can understand, so you can learn. The subject is in relation to the cop that you're talking about. When it says you, look, go back up to the thing. Go back up where it says has anointed. Right there, has anointed you. And that same
Mhm.
clause there, the one that's being anointed is who? Who's being anointed?
The king.
Who's doing the anointing?
Is doing the anointing.
Okay, so that means that the noun coming after the verb has to be the subject doing the anointing, correct?
Okay, let me ask this
Right?
question.
No,
No, let me ask this question because
before you ask the question, is that correct?
let me ask this question
Does
and
the noun?
see
No,
first.
no, no. Before the noun, after the verb is used, the noun that's coming after
Uh-huh.
the verb has to be in relation to the third person masculine singular who did the anointing, correct?
It says that. It says that. It says it must
Okay.
be in reference to. Okay, let me ask
All right then.
this question. Let me ask this question.
What you're doing with your chat GBT, it was mixing, it was reading the verse 6 and verse 7 with each other and saying that in verse 6 that's the king, and verse 7 neither one of Elohim or Elohim could be referring to the king. And verse that's what it said. You can go look at it's right there. Go back up. It's right there.
Yeah,
That's
let
exactly
me
what it
just.
just said. It wasn't talking about the verse we were just talking about. And when it talked about the verse that we were just talking about alone, it's saying exactly what I
Mhm.
just said. Verbatim.
The king. Let me see.
Hmm?
Let me just
Wait, say
go
that again?
here. The second, the L O I O. How do you pronounce it? The L O A K.
Elohim. Yeah.
And that is what? And that is the king, right?
No, the suffix when it says your, like the you, your God is that's the king, but God is in relation to the Father.
So the L O I K is the
The
king or not the king?
the Kaf is the king. The Elohai is the father. That's the God. The king
Okay.
has a God. God anointed the king. Just how you see that same Kaf on the bird, he anointed you. The you is the king, and the you is the same in Elohecha. It's in relation to the king.
Okay, let me just ask this, LA.
All right, go ahead. Why
Hello.
you do that? Give me.
And yeah, let me just ask that.
As long as you can see that it's not saying what you saying, that neither Elohim or Elohecha are the king. Elohim and Elohim and is the father, and Elohecha, your God, is in relation to the father that the king has.
Mm.
As long as you can see
Okay,
that,
so
then
so
yeah,
okay, so bro, I mean, if you are correct, you know, I'll yield. It's all about
yeah,
truth.
it's all
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
Yeah, that's right. That's
yeah,
right.
yeah. It says there. Here is the precise grammatical answer to your question about Psalm 45:7. Are the two terms Elohim and Eliaka your God referring to the same God or to the same king or to the king and God? The Hebrew grammar makes the answer unambiguous. In verse 7, both Elohim and Eliaka refers to the same God, Yahweh. So